Hello, welcome back to the sideboard one last time here at the StarCityGames.com Open Series in Denver. I'm with our champion, Vikram Kudva. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much, Nick.
We're here in Denver. It's fitting that two fellow Denver players meet in the finals.
I agree.
A lively match. You guys were bantering back and forth. Let me get you this trophy here.
Oh,
you earned some bragging rights. Hold it up.
Thanks.
Talk about that last match there with Lee.
So, the matchup itself is actually pretty bad for me. We were joking back and forth about what would need to happen for me to actually lose, for me to win after losing round one,
sure.
Or game one. So it's a feat that I was able to win the next two games. Though, to be fair, variance is a thing, and my opponent definitely had a bad stroke of bad luck. It is what it is. That's why we love Magic.
Yeah.
It is ingrained within the game. That being said, Lee is a great player. I totally respect him, and it's possible. Like, we're gonna see if we can go to the Indy next week as a potential team.
Right. Neither of you guys were qualified for the Invitational in Vegas next week. Both of you come down here, you meet in the finals, you both get your qualifications.
Yep.
And now you're setting up plans to travel together and battle there.
Oh yeah.
Now
I look forward to it.
You mentioned, it's a tough matchup. We saw Tarka Red a lot this weekend. It was the second most played deck. But we saw it win a lot of game ones as it did against you.
Yep.
And then everyone had the sideboard cards, and your deck even performed in those sideboard games fairly well.
Right. So I think I don't have enough. There were times within the tournament where even in a sideboard match, there's just not enough sideboard cards that I have to deal with the slew of tokens, dudes. The deck just goes way too wide for a lot of decks in the format. So I agree that it is beatable, and with enough preparation, and sideboarding, and potentially even putting some cards in the main for that deck, assuming it's your bad matchup, like, definitely shores up that matchup quite nicely. I will definitely be making some tweaks to my deck given that matchup, because I don't think I would have won if my opponent had drawn well.
Well, we even saw that at the Pro Tour. A lot of the people playing the Jeskai Black decks, had a Ration Cleric or something, a safety valve in the main deck as a way to try to get a little extra there in that matchup.
Right. So a lot of decks are trying to play a Ration Cleric, play life gain in small quantities as a way to potentially shore up that matchup. But like, a lot of the times that deck is just so explosive. There's no way for an Ration Cleric to beat a Monastery Swiftspear that has become a man stamp and Temur Battle Age. Like, the combo is really potent. Though some decks just don't have a choice, and so that I think that is why the deck is as good as it is. Like, a lot of the instant speed removal is just not as good in this particular standard format.
Well, from your side, it was super threatening, even though you had a board full of monk tokens and things, and he just had 6 goblins. But if a goblin gets all that pump, you could still die out of nowhere.
I'm just dead.
Talk about your other matchups here in the top 8 real quick. You had to beat Jolisette in the semifinals, and you had to take out another fellow Colorado player in the quarterfinals with Paul Bradford there.
Paul and Joe, both of those games were great. We both played our decks probably as best as we could, though I think Joe was having a little bit of an issue with his lands in game 3 of our match. But I respect them both. They are both good players, and obviously Joe has been doing well on the Star City Open Series, so like, but yeah, like, both of those matches were fun, and I mean, I'd do it all over again if I could.
All right, well, you'll get the chance to next week.
I agree.
Las Vegas, the Invitational. Hope to see you there. Congratulations one last time.
Thank you very much.
I'm going to send it back over to Patrick and Cedric there in the booth.